Happy Seminoles Wednesday. It was a beautiful day. Started off a little cool in the morning, but now nothing but plentiful sunshine bouncing off Doe Campbell, 75 degrees and sunny skies. Current temperatures, like I said, mid-70s pervasive throughout the area, feeling quite comfortable. The quiet before the storm coming in right now on radar as well. Pretty clear. Expect some showers coming in around 2 a.m. tonight, some thunderstorms, and that's going to lead us into tonight's headlines. Louisiana and Mississippi under an enhanced 3 out of 5 severe risk, 6% chance of severe weather. A northeaster hammering New Jersey with rain and wind, and rain and cool weather returns for Tallahassee. Minus cold front Thursday. Find out all that and more on FSU weather. Stay tuned.
Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Melissa Geiger. We have a lot to go over tonight. We have severe weather going on in portions of the southeast, including Mississippi and Louisiana. And we also have cooler temperatures coming to Tallahassee for a cold Halloween weekend. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that and seeing cooler temperatures come in for this fall. And it looks like you're going to get just that. And we're going to go into that later on in the show because of that cold front that is coming through. So we're looking at colder conditions and drier conditions coming through, looking like they might actually stick around this time for the first time this year. So something to be excited for. We're not going to be roasting like a turkey anymore, but I will be freezing like one as a native Floridian. So definitely keep a lookout for that. However, there is going to be severe weather here tomorrow throughout most of the day, so just something to look out for throughout the course of the day. But there's a lot to go on, a lot to look out for. Hopefully we get those nice conditions to stick around without the rainfall. Make out for a nice Halloween weekend. Go out, enjoy your weekend. Go out, carve pumpkins, go trick-or-treating, whatever you're doing this Halloween. Make sure you have a blast because it looks like the weather is actually going to make its way into a beautiful weekend for us. So we're looking at some nice conditions to come through, and hopefully we can see that continue. Got to look out for the rainfall tomorrow. Make sure you're not getting yourself in any dangerous situations. And we're going to go out into that here in a second. So I'm going to pass things over to Hayden. Hayden, it looks like our week's actually going to be pretty nice this coming week.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how excited I am to see this. Cannot wait. See, we just got to get past tonight and tomorrow morning, and we're going to be just fine. Anyways, like I said earlier, that live look at Dope, absolutely perfect. 75. Wind out of the south at 7 miles per hour. On the radar, nothing to show for it. Clear skies all the way from our northern areas to Dothan, to St. Mark's to Cross City. Nothing but scintillating sunshine. A beautiful day to go out there and enjoy it while you can. Temperature Almanac, pretty average today. Actually, statistically, yes. 77, the average was 78. Even our low temperature, 51, a little cool side. But our average low this time of year is 54. So we're very much right where we're expected to be. And our record, 89. So that year must have been a pretty warm year, and it probably was recently with all the warm temperatures we've been having the past couple of years. Anyways, current, like I said, mid-70s across our area. It is gorgeous. The humidity is dry. You might even want to bring your chapstick out. It feels really great. And that dry air is really exemplified by these dew points. You can draw a line from Monticello down to Madison, Valdosta, Donaldsonville, low to mid-50s, even 45. And as you head down towards the coast with that southerly wind off the Gulf, quite moist in Apalachicola and Sumatra, 65 to the upper 50s. And this is a sign that air mass, as this system comes up, we're going to evac all this moisture into our area. So we are going to get muggy just for a little bit, though. It's not going to last too long as that cold front sweeps in. You can see that rain comes in at 3 a.m. all the way through 8 a.m. So you definitely want to bring an umbrella. And notice there's a couple of rounds. If you slow down this radar, you can see the rain cleared out around 11 a.m. to 12. So definitely bring an umbrella if you're heading to classes. If you can stay home and do it on Zoom, maybe now is time to do so. Walk your dog in the afternoon or really early in the morning. Definitely want to make some plans there. Anyways, tonight's forecast, those thunderstorms will be coming in around after 3 o'clock in our westernmost areas. And Tallahassee can expect their main weather from 4 to 8, 4 to really 10 a.m. based off that latest model run. And then, of course, areas point east, expect at least through the mid-morning to early afternoon, some thunderstorms. So our main threats are gusty winds with that speed coming in, some tornadoes, some isolated tornadoes kind of be rolled out with the squall line, They should be fairly weak, but an ES0 to EF1 can still do damage, especially if you're in a mobile home. So put on your weather radios. Don't take this for granted. Things do spin up, and we've seen that before. Actually, last year, an airport got hit one, and there wasn't really that much of a threat as tonight. So keep that in mind. Anyways, tomorrow's forecast, we'll see some clearing sunshine behind that rain. And then areas further east, we can expect rain further in the day tomorrow afternoon. But it should start to clear out. There's going to be some clouds behind this trough. So it's going to be kind of ucky, but we'll get through it. And like I said, it's going to be much better behind that. Anyways, thunderstorms late tonight, 63 degrees. Some could be severe. We are under a slight risk now, 1 out of 5 chance. Like I said, AM thunderstorms for Thursday for hopefully drying out, at least becoming cloudy. In the week ahead, look at that, 66 degrees on Friday, that low of 49. Nothing but sunshine Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And now we're going to hand it over to Melissa for her next segment.
Thanks, Hayden. We're going to take a look at what's going on across the nation right now, seeing some pretty contrasting things across both sides of the country. We'll get to that here in a second. Current temperatures, 57 in Denver, 66 in Dallas, warming back up to 81 in New Orleans, and 75 in Tallahassee. Some of the cooler temperatures we've seen this fall. A lot of people have been looking forward to that, and our dew points are actually helping us out a little bit right now. Dew points across much of the west sitting really low, really dry. 16 in Denver, 36 in Salt Lake City, 57 here in Tallahassee. The only really moisture is down in New Orleans and moving up into Mississippi, and down in Miami, as always, because they're always humid down there. Talking about those fronts that we're going to see coming through here, Tallahassee tomorrow, that cold front coming down across Texas right now, and that severe weather moving its way through the southeast. You see over New Orleans and Mississippi, there is tornado watches at this time. So if you're in those areas, you need to make sure you are looking out for that. Severe weather is possible and is going to continue throughout tonight. So make sure you're watching for that, and we'll get a bit more into detail here in a few minutes. But as for upper level water vapor, behind that front, you see in front of it is all that moisture that is coming in, all those clouds and rainfall that's moving in. But behind it, really, really dry air. See that brown is that dry air moving in. So once that rain moves out, it's going to be really cool and dry conditions to look out for. You're probably going to need to break out that chapstick. For our northwest radar, some rainfall coming into Portland from another system that looks like it could be moving in. So definitely something to look out for. But as for the central U.S., looking at continued rainfall from that front again, moving through Aberdeen and into Minneapolis, continuing to move northward. So again, something to look out for, but not as serious as it is down in the southeast. For our northeast radar, our low pressure system that has moved off is continuing to send rainfall into Boston and some of the other northern states as well. So again, not the best night to be going out. Make sure you're taking a look at the radar if you're planning on going out tonight. But taking a closer look at the southeast, as we were talking about just a second ago, there is a tornado watch in the area right now. That is this yellow area across New Orleans and parts of Mississippi. As that storm is continuing to move its way through, it could be a potentially dangerous situation. It's definitely something you need to look out for and pay attention to over the course of the night. Moving over to Texas, you see that storm has already moved its way out. That's where we saw all that dry air. So that high pressure is moving in over it, giving us really clear and dry conditions. But as for our watches and warnings, again, tornado watch in the southeast, in Mississippi and Louisiana, as well as severe thunderstorm warnings. But over in Dallas, we're actually looking at fire hazard warnings in southern and northern Texas as well. So they could use some rainfall, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like they'll be getting any soon. As for our storm outlook, looking at an enhanced risk for that portion of Mississippi and Louisiana that we talked about just a second ago, with that chance of tornadoes and strong winds that you're going to need to look out for the next few hours. So make sure you're staying up to date with that. As for tonight, cooler temperatures moving in behind that front. 38 in Denver right now, and while we're not going to get that cold, as cold as that here in Tallahassee, we are looking at 55 degrees for tonight and getting potentially even lower coming into tomorrow, as we'll talk about later. For tomorrow, 59 in Denver, 67 in Albuquerque. So looking at cooler temperatures there as well. And as that storm moves through, we're going to see another cool day here tomorrow at 78, but that's going to be cooling down even farther after that rainfall moves its way out. As for the rest of the country, still looking at low temperatures, 50s and 60s, but we're going to take a closer look at the southeast to take a look at that severe weather. There's some potentially dangerous situations right now, isn't there, Hayden?
Yeah, absolutely. Southeast definitely under threat. But if you take a look at these pictures right now, you would not see that storm system about to sweep in through. These areas are all pointing east from Gainesville to look at Atlanta 71. They have the World Series coming up there in a couple of days. It looks like it's going to be quite cool behind the cold front, but it should be pretty nice for them. Bowling Green, Kentucky, 63. You can actually see some fall foliage to get some coloration on there, so it's very nice. So the southeast right now is very much a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is hiding. 75 in Tallahassee. Florida even warmer, mid-80s at Sunshine, Miami, and warm 87. And you can see our cold front indicated by some of this rain in New Orleans, 69, and Jackson and 60 in Little Rock. So you can see this system is about to sweep through. But to the southeast, if you're ahead of that system, it's really nice, and behind that as well. Dew Point's fairly dry. New Orleans sticks out like a sore thumb, 76. But everywhere else is extremely dry, especially in this northeast sector. Dew Point's in the 40s. And South Florida, of course, also being the exception with dew points in the 70s, similar to Louisiana ahead of our system. Our national radar, nothing seen across our extreme northeast region and eastern. But if you head to the midsection, you see this red box. That is our tornado watch. That means conditions are conducive for some isolated tornadoes. And we have had some tornado warnings before. And right now it looks like just a line of maybe some severe thunderstorms. I don't see any tornadoes active, but it can happen any second. So we actually, looks like we do have a tornado warning right there that popped up. So this way you need your weather radar ready and radio, because you need to hear these, especially as you go through overnight hours and you're sleeping. But if you're in Florida, you can just have a nice cool drink in the tropics. Nothing coming in Miami and Tampa. Looks pretty good, especially in my hometown. Rainfall forecast, the system is moving in, so we can expect swaths of maybe 3 to 5 inches. You can see this band nature, so it's really going to depend on where the thunderstorms line up. But if you average it, I would say around 1.5 inches is probably your max you're going to get. In some areas, could get more in isolated areas, but I think it should be the flooding threat should be pretty low. The system is going to be moving pretty quickly. Anyways, tonight 60s ahead of that cold front, 50s in our northern section where behind that front, and 70s down in Florida where that moisture is really starting to funnel in. Further south for sure. Tomorrow, pretty cool and mild in the southeast. Very pleasant conditions as the front, Tallahassee and further south and east. We will have some rain to contend with, maybe some severe weather threat. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Like I said, conditions will be conducive for storms, but tropics, what do we have going on there?
Yeah, we don't really have a whole lot going on in the tropics right now, thankfully, as we are moving towards the end of hurricane season, but it's not over yet, and there is some things to look out for, so we're going to go over that. For our IR satellite, you can see some areas that are having convection. We have an area that we're watching over towards the northeast right now, as well as we need to always keep an eye off the coast of Africa, because that's where those tropical waves like to come off, and tropical cyclones begin to spin up. But as for our chance of development in the northeast, you see this spiral right here as that low pressure system has moved off the coast. Looking at a 30% chance of development, nothing too bad. Chances are it's not going to develop. Might not make it to Wanda yet. But as for the off the coast, we do have some convection going on. So again, just something to keep an eye on. Don't have a whole lot going on though. For water vapor, dry air across a lot of the Atlantic, which is going to inhibit these storms from forming. And looking at potential for maybe something popping up in the Caribbean next week, just something to look out for. But we don't have a whole lot of things going on right now, just something to stay up to date with, make sure, because hurricane season isn't over yet. But that's all we have for the tropics right now. But we're going to do a severe weather recap with Hayden at the desk.
Yeah, absolutely. Severe weather, definitely on our minds. We start transition. This is our mini season. Our main severe weather season is in the spring, of course, when we have the cloud air masses, but also in the fall. We have a secondary peak season where the warm air and cold air collide, and where that happens, you get wind shear, you get thunderstorms, and that's exactly what we've seen today. So in early October so far, we've had 2 moderate risks in Oklahoma. So that is 3 out of 5 chances of seeing severe weather and tornadoes. Pretty high for the mini season. We had a tornado outbreak in Missouri, of course, in this month, and we have more coming tonight with possible tornadoes embedded in the squall line for Louisiana, Mississippi, and of course Western Florida Panhandle, including Tallahassee. So this is all something to consider for our area. And as for today, right now, New Orleans is under threat. We have an enhanced risk, 3 out of 5 chance of seeing severe weather. And I do believe it looked like we had a tornado warning popped up. If you were watching us earlier, it looked like it was around the northeastern sections of the Louisiana area, New Orleans area. And our hatch lines, our tornado potential, actually significantly high for what you'd expect in the risk, as we have a 10% chance, looks like New Orleans. Pensacola, all the way across to areas just west of Tallahassee, has a 5% chance. In that green area, you're seeing that as a 2% chance of seeing a tornado. So if you're watching us, Western Florida Panhandle, a 5% chance of seeing a tornado, definitely not the highest outbreak that you can see, but it's still a chance nonetheless. So like I said, I had the weather radio on because it will be coming in at a very late hour. You're going to be sleeping. People are going to be home, so you definitely want to be alert. Another thing to consider too, if you're dropping off the kids to school and they're taking the bus at say 6 or 7, that line, depending on where you are, especially if you're in Florida, will be coming through around when the kids are going to school. So I know some counties have considered delaying the bus starts. So if your kids in one of those areas, you definitely want to look at the time and make sure, just check to make sure everything's going on as planned. And of course, stay safe. The good thing is though, severe weather, looks like the country is going to have a lack of any severe weather threat. When that system comes by, we have cool, stable air, and the rest of the nation looks to be quiet as well as the southeast. So we will take any relief we can get. So now we're going to move on to our next segment, Over on the Wall.
That's right, Hayden. We're going to take a look at that severe weather currently going on and see if there's anything we need to look out for at this moment. As we talked about, there is a tornado watch in effect for much of the southern parts of Louisiana and Mississippi, as well as severe thunderstorm watches going on right now, or severe thunderstorm warnings, excuse me. So taking a look at our radar, you see that line of storms coming in. Not seeing any tornado warnings right now that I can see on here. But as this line continues to move through, we're seeing those strong showers coming through. Looking at Bogalusa, having some strong showers starting here in a few minutes. Hattiesburg also has severe weather coming in. Taking a look at our rotation, seeing some winds coming through, some strong winds coming through here. So we're going to look out for strong winds. They are potentially dangerous. That's why part of why we have that enhanced risk for this area today. Not looking at any rotation for tornadoes at this time that we can see here. So that's thankfully a good thing, but that can easily change within a few minutes, a few hours. So just make sure you're staying up to date. Looking at that reflectivity again, see that strong squall line coming through. Seeing continuing down towards the south as well, where that thunderstorm or the tornado watch is extending. Really not seeing a whole lot here. Some strong showers coming through. Human, going to look out for it. New Orleans, that's going to be starting here in an hour or so. Make sure you're keeping a lookout and you're staying up to date on what's going on. Up further, looking at still stronger showers, and that's not going to change anytime soon. There's going to be a lot of rainfall, as we can see on this graphic here. So make sure you're keeping a lookout. You want to make sure you're not going to get stuck in any flooding. If you see flooding, turn around, don't drown. Don't try and drive through it. It's not going to be safe. But hopefully after the storms move through, hopefully we'll start seeing some nicer conditions. You're not going to be roasting like a turkey anymore. It is going to cool off. Looking at nicer conditions and drier air behind it, because you see behind that storm, nothing's really back there. You see some clear skies, so just going to make it through these strong storms, and hopefully we'll be seeing some nicer weather as Hayden is scrolling around so we can take a better look at what's coming. But much of the New Orleans and Mississippi area are going to be getting rain. Looking at that, again, tornado watch that you're going to have to stay up to date for coming into the next few hours and overnight. Just stay up to date, keep your radio tuned in so you can keep an eye on what's going on and what you need to look out for, so you're not getting stuck in a situation where you're asleep and don't know what to do or where to go. Have a plan ahead of time so you know what to look out for and what to do in case you are woken up in the middle of the night for a tornado. But Hayden, maybe have a better insight of what's going on and can help us out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Melissa, if you can you pull up the velocities for me, and we'll go take a closer look at that. So, if we'll zoom in on our area, So this, we have our severe weather polygon. So we have one currently, a huge expanse across the I-10 area. So there's one severe thunderstorm warning. And we have another one just above and of I-12 in the I-10 interpass for New Orleans. So what's going on? The reason why these are getting triggered, these shades of green right here. So if severe thunderstorm, we probably need winds of 56 miles per hour gusting. This shading here indicates we have at least 60 mile per hour straight line wind gusts, which can be just as damaging to a tornado with a mobile home. So we definitely have some strong winds here. And then again, if you look up at this area, let's take a closer look. So you're watching us in Bogalusa. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Just east of Hammond towards Biscayne. We have some interesting, we have some red and green, so it means we have some coming away, some coming towards the radar, some going away. Like I said, nothing imminent, nothing tight, so there is no tornado warning, but it's an interesting nonetheless that we have some upper level rotation coming in this system and some strong winds, of course, indicating this bright red velocity, especially with this green right here. This might be something to keep an eye out where we have red going away from the radar, green coming towards. Definitely something to keep an eye out for sure. And we'll zoom out. We'll go take a look at some other areas. Definitely seeing some strong gusts all the way down to the coast. And like I said, this is heading eastbound towards New Orleans. So one thing to keep in mind too is we do have a strengthening low-level jet. So even though the instability is going to go out tonight, as this progresses eastwards towards our Pensacola area and even Tallahassee, what we lose in instability, we might gain in our jet. And so that's going to help contribute and keep this system dynamic enough to have those severe thunderstorm watches, to have those possible spin-up tornadoes. The good thing for watching us in Baton Rouge, the capital for Louisiana, and if you're watching us from Louisiana State University, this line is coming through now, and you should be tapering off into showers in good conditions. But otherwise, areas further east and, of course, north, we will have some conditions to monitor. We also have some pop-up cells around Sedell and between Wiggins and Gulfport. These are interesting to watch out for in the warm sector because they can start to really spin up and get some traction. Now we're going to hand it over to Melissa.
Thanks, Hayden. We're going to move it back over to Florida. See what's going on right now. Oh, never mind. We're going to take it over to New Jersey. Looking at New Jersey right now, seeing some temperatures right now. Ocean City, looks like we have nothing coming up right now. Oh, there it goes. 60s and 50s, so looking at some cooler temperatures. And we're going to dew points. Also a bit drier up here as well. So seeing some nicer conditions. There we go. There's Florida. Thank you, Robert. As for tomorrow in Florida, we're looking at Tampa and Fort Myers. Looks like we started at the end of it. So we're going to quickly click over here. Looking at Panama City Beach. There's our Florida radar. See, clear skies for most of Florida, but those storms are going to be coming into Florida, and we're going to be seeing cooler temperatures behind that rainfall. As for the Panhandle Radar, still clear skies, thankfully, but that is going to be changing here in a few hours, and overnight we'll begin getting those strong storms and showers that are currently going through Louisiana, so make sure you're keeping a lookout for what's to come. But as for Panama City Beach right now, currently 74 degrees, clear skies, and you can see that beautiful sunset behind me beginning to go down. So seeing a nice evening here in Panama City. So if you're planning on going out tonight, go out tonight before the storms come tomorrow. As for Apalachicola radar, again, clear skies, looking at maybe a few showers that may pop up here and there, but looking like a pretty nice night. As for North Florida, again, much of the same thing. Clear skies, but that's all going to change here in a few hours when we begin to get those rains from that cold front. As for Gainesville, currently 76 degrees and partly cloudy with a bit of a breeze coming through. See that sunset going down there as well. So much of Florida is seeing the same thing. Beautiful conditions tonight, a great night to go out and hit the town before those storms begin to come in and things get potentially dangerous. For South Florida, we're sitting at a higher humidity here in South Florida, but still seeing those clear skies and little to no rainfall, maybe a shower popping up here or there, but still pretty nice conditions compared to what we've seen, and that will change tomorrow. Miami, 88 degrees and partly cloudy, also a breeze coming through and the sun setting as well. And for our current temperatures, 75 in Tallahassee, 82 in Tampa, a bit warmer down south at 87 and 85. So you can see that cooling off as that front moves closer. 75 70s up north and 80s down south. A bit warmer down south, and it's not helping them out with that humidity as we saw earlier. There is a green spot on the south part of Florida, so making those conditions not so pleasant. But for current dew points, 53 in Orlando, 63 in Tampa, 70 down south in Miami, 57 here in Tallahassee, so it is drying out a little bit, making some nice conditions. And as for tonight, 55 in Tallahassee, 61 in Gainesville, 72 in Tampa. So once again, seeing those temperatures beginning to drop a little bit. It's going to get even colder than that this weekend for your holiday weekend. It's going to be a great time to go out and enjoy your holiday. For tomorrow in Florida, 79 in Tampa, so 83 in Fort Myers, 83 in Key West. So again, you're seeing those cooler temperatures. Once that front moves through, looking at 66 degrees, some nice conditions starting off for our holiday weekend. Now we're going to hand things off to Hayden.
Yes, that looks awesome. I cannot wait for that. 63 in our area, 66 is going to be sweet. Anyways, speaking of sweet, that sunlight coming through the area, that sun ray, pretty cool. Setting over Doe Campbell Stadium, also an awesome scene. Pretty comfortable right now ahead of that front, 75 degrees. That's wind out of the south, helping juice up our atmosphere for the storms to come. On average today, fairly climatologically, and nowhere near the 1984, 89 degrees. Thank goodness for that. Out ahead on radar, nothing actually popping on Panama City, Tallahassee. I've seen a lot of blue sky lately. Still pretty dry aloft, and that moisture will be streaming in from the south. Maybe you can get some indication of some moisture coming in across the Gulf area, which it surely is. The main thing to take away from regional radar are some showers down by the Keys ahead of that stationary front, and of course our main squall line coming through the New Orleans area, which will be coming in. Anyways, our future radar, as we've shown, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. looks like we'll have 2 batches of rain, maybe even 3. So really expect heavy thunderstorms, severe weather, torrential downpours, lightning from 4 a.m. to 11 a.m. just to be on the safe side for us. But like I said, most of the weather will be done by the morning. This slight risk covers all the way across from our northern Florida to southern Georgia, from Panama City all the way eastwards towards High Springs. It's a 1 out of 5 chance of seeing severe weather, which is rain gusts, wind gusts, tornadoes, hail, all those parameters. But currently warm out ahead of it, staying quite warm actually tonight into the 70s or upper 60s. And some tonight in Tallahassee, 63 thunderstorms late. And of course we will be moderating. But now we're going to bring it over to Melissa at the wall.
We're actually heading over to the desk, but thank you, Hayden. As we saw on our show tonight, we have that cold front coming through, and we're going to have beautiful Halloween conditions. We're not going to be roasting like a turkey anymore. Actually looking at cold conditions that probably will stick around for a bit, at least for the next week. So definitely a lot nicer than we've seen. However, with that colder temperatures and that cold front coming through comes the severe storms. So you definitely need to be on the lookout for severe weather over the next day, Louisiana and Mississippi overnight, and then Tallahassee tomorrow. Don't want to get stuck in any potentially dangerous situations. Make sure you plan ahead of time. If you have a tornado warning come up, you know where to go and what to do to keep you and your family safe. If rainfall begins to get really heavy, make sure you don't drive through any floodwaters. Turn around, don't drown. But as for now, follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather. We'd love to hear from you. And like us on Facebook as well on FSU Weather also. And hopefully you're watching us right now on YouTube at FSU Weather. If you're not, make sure you check us out. And follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather. We'd love to have pictures from you guys. We could use them on the show. If you have a picture of your dog that we can use on the dog walk forecast, feel free to send them in to us. We'd love to see them and use them on the show. But as for now, I'm student meteorologist Melissa Geiger. Have a great night, Tallahassee, and stay safe.